So I'm going to create a Consecrated Path Chieften Marauder. And starting off at the very beginning, now of course, whoops, wrong button there. Let's take a look at what I'm using. I just grabbed some really good leveling gear. Of course, as they say, your mileage may vary depending upon what you're using. You have a couple of red beaks here, tabula rasa, of course, gold rim, and string of servitude for the elemental resistance, and of course wanderlust to give me some speed. Now our basic goal to start with here is we want to reach level 15. The point being that to use the hollow palm technique, we want to get down here to our very first cluster jewel socket, coming from way up here, which actually isn't that far. Let me allocate the first point here. So the basic path we're going to follow is we're going to come down here, follow down around these life and armor nodes, come up over here to this little ring here. I'm not sure if you can see the cursor highlighting this, but basically the whole point is just to get down to this this first cluster jewel socket, where we're going to put the one with nothing jewel, which gives us our hollow palm technique. That is the very first step, which doesn't really take very long. I'm going to hopefully breeze through this. Like I said, I've got some fairly decent leveling gear. Nothing's going to bother me. The important thing though is you'll want to start using smite. I did another character with a build like this, but I was using I switched from smite to infernal blow as soon as I got into Mervale's Cavern, where you can pop back to town and get the infernal blow, because I was looking online and I saw that there is a really good infernal blow for the hollow palm technique for this character, but the gear is even more expensive than my final build. So I would suggest just sticking with smite until 28, and then at 28 we're going to go with Consecrated Path. So you're only going to be using two skills. You're going to use smite up until 28, and then once we hit 28 we're going to switch to Consecrated Path. The only thing we're going to do is like I said, at level 15 we're going to put in our hollow palm technique passive jewel, and then we'll drop our weapons and our gloves. I'm not even wearing any gloves right now, probably don't even need them, but we'll drop our weapons and go from armed combat to unarmed. Alright, so I'm not going to actually record me leveling through this whole process. I'm just going to go out and kill stuff. Judging from experience, I should hit level 15 right about shortly after, around the time that I kill Fairgraves in the ship graveyards. So we'll catch back to you there in a little bit. Okay, so I progressed a bit here. I'm level 11 now, and filled out a little bit more of the tree. As you can see, I'm getting really close, well, kind of close, to getting that large jewel socket. What I've got at this point here, I've added some more gems. I've got my Ancestral Protector, Molten Shell, which I haven't really used much. Every now and then I'll drop the Ancestral Protector just for some extra damage. With my smite now, I've got Ruthless, Chance to Bleed, Ancestral Claw. Ancestral Claw is good because it gives you a little more reach, and Onslaught, and I've got Dash in my chest right now because I could have put in one of the weapons, but I just want to start leveling it up. Should probably at some point I'll probably put a green socket on the boots. But just so you can see how this is going now, even with starter gear I'm using. I'm not one-shotting stuff. I'm, doing okay. Of course, depending upon the gear you use, your mileage may vary, as they say. I'll just do a little bit of recording here just to see how things are looking before we get to using the one with nothing hollow palm technique passive jewel.
A slave is not a man. A slave.
I'm gonna come over here, grab the waypoint. Okay. You see, I'm using Smite, which gives me some really good area of effect. And with this gear, here's a lead I can see. I'm certainly not one-shotting everything at this point. That will change in a while. Okay, so I'm gonna stop recording and skip ahead to hopefully where I get the we're ready to socket that jewel. So here we are in the cavern. I have leveled up to 15 and have unlocked the first cluster socket, and I put in my one with nothing, which will give us the hollow palm technique. I have not activated the passive yet because it's just going to show where we're at without it. Go around here and find some stuff to smash. As you can see, it's we're still having to whack things a few times before they die. Clear this out. We'll back up for a bit. And if we look at the tooltip, that was weird. I was doing a little bit higher earlier. Alright, so we're seeing 86.3 tooltip damage. That's odd. I was doing a little over 100 earlier. Not sure what changed there. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to come down here. We're going to activate Hollow Palm. And now we take off our two weapons. I'm not wearing any gloves at the moment, so we don't need to worry about that. And now if we look at our tooltip DPS, we are now at 493. So we should be doing, yep, there we go. We are doing much, much better. From this point on, we're pretty much going to be one and two shotting everything. Oops, go back the wrong way here. A little bit of lag happening. My internet connection isn't the best in the world. Plus my computer's a bit slow, so it lags a bit when I'm trying to record. So from this point on, we are going to be breezing through all the content to level up. Or for one of the elites here to show how much quicker you can take down one of the elites, but okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop recording for a few minutes. I'm going to get up to where we kill Mervale, and we'll see how that fight goes now. Okay, now before I fight this boss, a couple things to point out. This build with the Hollow Palm technique, if you notice, we're getting extra damage, extra physical damage based on every 10 dexterity when we're unencumbered. And of course, unencumbered means we're fighting barehanded, no weapons, no gloves. So this is very much dexterity stacking. At the moment, the only thing I have really giving me extra dexterity is the career reward, which is giving me 28 dexterity. At level 20, I'll be able to equip Astromantis, which will give us a major boost to our dexterity. I probably should have crafted a couple of rings to give me some more, but I'm not really overly worried about that at the moment. Don't feel like going back there. So let's go fight the boss.
This is not true faith!
Whoops. I have a lot of cold resistance, but not that much. I should walk out of that.
Your flesh is ours!
And she's gone. Now, like I said, if I put on some more dexterity into this,
Your curses
that
are
would have gone a
suffered.
little bit quicker.
Rest with Hinekora,
I think
mother
I
of
did
the
about
dead.
half as... I took about half as long on my last run through this. And I had put on a couple of rings. So now, our next step, because at this point I'm level 15, our next step is really going to be getting to level 28. Well, first level 20, then I can put on Astromentus, which will just give us several orders of magnitude more damage. But at level 28, we'll be able to switch from Smite to Consecrated Path. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to keep going on, level up a little bit more. I'll probably grab a couple of rings once I get to the next waypoint. And I will show some of the next couple of boss fights, like the bandits and the bear in the cave, that sort of thing, once I get into the next part. Okay, so I just hit level 16, and I popped back to town. I grabbed 2 rings that I just crafted for level 16, 25 dexterity and 16 dexterity. Brings my dex up to 106. Tooltip damage, it's not showing properly, it should be a little bit higher. Thought maybe, well, 923 still ain't bad. And I also sent, I've got now all the skill gems that we're going to need for Consecrated Path. Now granted, we don't get Consecrated Path until level 28, but in the meantime, once I hit 18, I'm going to swap in a couple of the others that we can start leveling so they'll be ready. Elemental damage, fortify we can't use till 31. Pulverize, okay, so yeah, melee physical damage and elemental focus. Now those will work with the lightning damage that Smite is currently doing. And of course we're going to switch, we'll be doing fire damage once we get to Consecrated Path. So once I hit 18, I'll be swapping in elemental damage with attacks, melee physical support, and elemental focus. So that'll be just a few more levels. Oh, and the other thing I should probably do, I have here a really good chest for this to level with. It's a level 17 Solaris Lorica, and it's perfectly socketed. I've got 5 reds and 1 blue. So once I hit 17 in another level, I'll be swapping that in. Okay, so I'm going to head down back to the waypoint here. And I'll fight my way to the next quest hub here. Just going to see how this is actually doing now that we've added some extra dexterity. There we go. Now I'm really one-hitting stuff. Oh, and I got another skill point to allocate. Yeah, with that, the next 2 bits of the tree we're going to be wanting to go for, we're going to want to go for Brinkmanship and Lava Lash. Lava Lash, once we get Consecrated Path, we'll be doing the fire damage, so that's going to be a major boost, and Brinkmanship also. So I'm going to go with Brinkmanship first. So as you can see, I'm really just one-shotting my way through everything here at this point. Load up my skill gems here. Okay, so I'm going to stop recording in a second, and then I'll start recording again when I hit some more of the some of the boss fights.
Is gone.
Okay, so here I am in the den. One thing I didn't do yet, it's probably a good idea to do either at this point or even earlier, might be to do a Val version of Ancestral Protector and Molten Shell. I didn't worry about it because this is actually just a character I'm creating to get to level 25 to get some storage space, but again, your mileage may vary. So we're in the den. Einhar here wants us to kill some beasts, and we've got the big bear to kill. And if we, now that I'm actually out in the wild here, my DPS is now a little over 1k. There we go, that's down. Took him a second to trap it. Here's the red beast. And that's done. So, oops, there's still, I don't know if there's one still in here or it's up outside the cave. Should be in the cave. Might as well capture the last beast for Einhar.
Was a great hunt, Exile. I now will write a mighty poem about it.
Okay, so now I'm going to go back, turn that in, and the next thing we'll do is show how this thing does with the bandits. Okay, so level 18 I'm at now. I put in the elemental damage with attack support and melee physical damage support. And we're at the first, the bandits. And by the way, yes, we're going to kill all the bandits so we get all the skill points. We don't really need crit support or anything like that because this is not a crit build really. And we're not really worried too much about anything else. So we're just going to kill all the bandits. And here comes the first one. And she's dead. That quick and simple.
More honor than your life,
Notice our tooltip damage at this point is 1.6k, which is pretty good, but it's going to skyrocket in just about a level and a half when I can start wearing the Astramentus. So that will be the next part. Whoops, wrong button there. Okay, so I'm going to continue on, and you'll probably see me in a second with level 20. Oops, and one thing I did forget to do, I hadn't socketed in the elemental focus support because I needed some more intelligence, so I just swapped out one of the crafted rings with an intelligence ring. Dropped my overall DPS a hair, down to 1.5 from 1.6, but at least now I can keep leveling that up for the next 2 levels till I get to 20. I could have just waited till 20 when I can drop in the Astramentus, but might as well go with it now. Okay, so I'm now level 20. I'm at the second of the bandits. If we look at my tooltip, I've got 1.5k DPS, But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to drop in the Astramentus. Going to swap out that intelligence ring back for another dexterity ring. So we've now got 212 dexterity, and our DPS is now 4.2k. A very nice boost. So let's kill Oak. And that was over and done with before he can blink. So as you can see, we're really, this build just keeps getting exponentially better as you go along. So the next step, of course, is going to be getting to level 25 with Consecrated Path. Oh, and one other thing I forgot to mention. I didn't grab it out of my stash, but at level 22, it's a good idea to grab a Praxis ring, or maybe even 2. Just for quality of life, to stop having to drink flask of mana all the time. It'll cut down your mana usage. I've got one sitting in my stash for me. So we'll see. I'll probably go kill the other boss and record that too. I mean the other bandit in a few minutes and record that too. Okay, so we're in the Weaver's Cave. It was always a fun fight. I haven't gotten my Praxis in yet, so we're still losing mana a little bit more than I'd like. Okay, not there. And that went down really quick. So yeah, we're really breezing along with this. Okay, I'm back in town after killing a Weaver, and I also opened up the path back to town. One thing I should point out here, Silk is now giving me as a reward melee physical damage support or elemental damage with attack support, both of which I already have because I bought them on my other character. Just an FYI, that's when these become available if you don't already send them and socket them in. Doesn't really matter, I can just grab another one for later. Okay, so I just hit level 22, and I figure I'd take a second here before killing the final bandit and take a look at the Path of Building tree. I've already gotten the already taken Lava Lash and Brinkmanship, and I just took the first intelligence here. Now we're going this way, heading over to grab Master of the Arena. We'll get Bravery, and then Art of the Gladiator. And our goal at this point is to follow the tree and come over here and grab our next jewel socket, which is going to be for a split personality. What split personality does is, based on the distance between the socket and your start, we're using now he's using in this build dexterity and life. Those are extremely expensive. I bought cheaper, just dexterity and armor, or you can go evasion. They're usually about the same price, either dexterity armor, dexterity invasion, or if you're very wealthy with lots of currency, you can buy the dexterity and life. So that's what we're going to do first, is grab the split personality here, grab all these, and then we're going to come over, grab iron reflexes, and then we're going to come over this way, grab our next split personality. I can't remember whether I went down and took ambidexterity before I got the split personality. I think I did the split personality first and then went down here and grabbed that. Again, your mileage may vary. And then again, I took the dexterity nodes here, and then went up and got our next split personality. Oh, and also I did forget, actually, there's the dexterity node here, proficiency, which I probably should have taken before grabbing that intelligence. I'll grab it on the next level. Actually, of course, I do have a refund point here, so I'll just get rid of that for now. And grab another 30 dexterity, which will be a nice boost toward DPS. So yeah, at the moment I'm looking at 4.4 DPS. Oh, and I've got the I put on a Praxis ring, so that gives me a little bit better mana, not dropping down as much. So let's kill this one here. And she's dead in like 2 hits. I'm whacking away just to kill the trash here around her. Okay, so when we get back to town here in a second, we'll get a couple more passive points, and that's when I'll be heading over to the right side of the tree. So our next major point here is going to be getting to level 28, which will of course unlock Consecrated Path. So now I got a couple more skill points. Not that they're helping, but we grab the intelligence heading this way to get Master of the Arena, and then Bravery, and then we're going to be heading down. Okay, and one other quick thing that I did. Alright, so I went and I grabbed a couple more of the points after turning in the bandits. So I'm now at Master of the Arena. And I also remembered that going to eventually want the 3 red buffs. We're going to have Herald of Ash, Blood and Sand, and Anger. Anger can't use until 24. I forget exactly when these all. I know Blood and Sand is already available. Herald of Ash is a reward for a later quest in Act 2, and I can't remember about Anger, but again, I'm using another character to buy all of these, just so I have everything when I can use them.
That thing! It slaughtered everyone! Help me!
Oops, didn't know that was still recording. I thought I'd turn it off. Well, yeah, so I'm back at town, and after picking up the gem from the Chamber of Sins, we get Herald of Ash as a reward if you hadn't picked it up already. Okay, so just hit level 24. At the moment, we're still back over a little over 6,000 DPS. But what I'm going to do is now I can socket Anger. And put that in. That jumps us up another over 200 DPS, almost 300, so we're now at 6.27. Oh, forgot to take my other skill point here. This is some more life. Oh, wait, no, bravery, sorry, there we go. And that gives us more evasion, armor, and life, okay. And we're still just blasting away at everything. And much able to one-shot. I'll skip down to where we actually get the boss here in the lower level. Should be close to where that is. Yep, right around the corner here. And took him down in one shot. Clear out these spiders and I can pick up the quest item. Get over there. Okay. So from here on again, I'm still at level 24. Once I hit 28 is when the real fun begins with Consecrated Gaunt. Or Consecrated Path, I should say. Okay, so we're at the top of the pyramid, and here comes the other boss fight. And that was really easy. So as you can see, we haven't even gotten our primary skill of Consecrated Path yet, but already we're just really kicking butt here. Okay, now I'm down in the crematorium. I hit 27 a little bit ago. Something I want to point out, very important. Keep in mind as you're going through the skill tree. When we reach here, we're taking dual wielding damage, and we're going to grab some other dual wielding, and that of course is because besides just giving us extra damage based on dexterity, Hollow Palm makes us count as dual wielding when we're unencumbered, so we can pick up any dual wielding bonuses as we go.
You're simply too stupid to be realistic, aren't you, brute?
And piety's going down. Whoops, need some mana. There we go. She's gone. So we'll be back in a few seconds once I hit 28. And I'll stop recording. Okay, yeah, after killing Piety down in the crematorium and coming back and turning that in, now is when we can actually pick up Anger. I already grabbed it earlier from another character and sent it, but this is where you can pick it up. Let's see if there's anything else here. I don't think there's anything else I'm really going to want that'll go with my build. Now I'll just grab another Anger so I have it. And we get the sewer keys. Okay, so gonna head down to the sewers and should be 28 soon to use Consecrated Pass. It'll be fun. Okay, so I've hit level 28, and scroll down here. I now have a couple more dual wielding passes. I also grabbed another Praxis, got rid of a little bit of dexterity, but now I'll have a lot less trouble maintaining mana, which is important. And now we can see how this build really shines, and it will stay this way throughout from now on. Basically, every time I click on something, it jumps me to it, and it blasts them. It basically turns your fist into guided missiles. I jump back to the ledge just because it's a nice open area. Not a lot of corners to try and jump around. Just to show off a little bit here. Okay, so our DPS is a little bit lower than it would be without the other Praxis. I'm doing 7.8k DPS, which is still way more than enough for now. And once we get to our first jewel slot, which I think is going to be over here, yeah, over here next to Golem's Blood, we're going to be putting in a to edit this, the jewel that gives us, yeah, split personality, which will give us extra dexterity. Edit this. What I'll be doing is I'll be dropping in a split personality in this jewel socket when we reach it, next to Golem's Blood. And the split personality I'll be putting in gives us extra dexterity and armor based on how far away from the initial starting node that we're at. So that's going to be a major boost to our DPS. So that's going to be a little ways away. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 passive nodes to reach before we get there. So that's going to be around level 30. I forget exactly how many passes I'll pick up just from quest turn-ins, but it's a little ways away. But in the meantime, we're still one-shotting everything and zipping through. So I'll probably record a couple more bosses on this video, I'm not really sure. But the main thing is this is how the build is going to be from this point on. We're just going to be running around, clicking on stuff, and one-shotting everything. So we have major mobility, awesome DPS, and we're going to be taking out bosses too really, really quick. And I think I'll take a second, I'll switch over to my leveled up tune that's finished the campaign and run a quick map just to show what this looks like later on.